Welcome to ADHD Whiskey. My name is Matt. Today we're reviewing the newest Discovery series from Bardstown Bourbon Company. Does this blend of all Kentucky bourbon hit the spot, or does Discovery series number 11 miss the mark? We're about to find out as soon as I take out this golden cork. America. I haven't done that in a while. That has not happened in quite some time, but sometimes you pour whiskey in a glass and sometimes you pour whiskey by the glass or near it. That was the no look. That was the Jason Williams elbow pass of whiskey pouring and turnover. Coach is taking me out of the game now. I'm gonna ride the pine for the rest of the game. For that was a piss poor effort. Discovery 11. The Bardstown Bourbon Company Discovery series is in its 11th iteration, its 11th release. Number 1 through number 4 were like the glory releases, the best releases that have ever been released. After the 4th release, Bardstown Bourbon Company started experimenting with bourbons outside of Kentucky and Indiana. They started to delve into the wild world of Tennessee whiskey. And if I had a nickel for everybody who loved George Dickel, I'd probably have about $7. Numbers 5, 6, and 7, people were like poo-pooey about. But then 8, 9, and 10, it's like Discovery got good again. And then came along number 11, my lucky number. And this bad batch is all Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. 73% 13-year, 21% 10-year, and 6% 6-year. The 73% 13-year Kentucky bourbon in here, some people are claiming that it is a descendant of the Wild Turkey variety. While I give Disco 11 a swirl inside this whiskey glass and let the whiskey evaporate off my shorts and feet, let me tell you about today's video sponsor, who you should think is pretty neat. Today's video is once again brought to us by our great friends over at Z-Biotics. Z-Biotics is the world's very first pre-alcohol probiotic drink. Z-Biotics is a tiny little drink that you drink before you drink. A lot of people out there feel like crud the day after they drink alcohol, but thanks to this genetically engineered son of a gun, you'll be feeling great the day after drinking and want to go lay in the sun. Z-Biotics works by breaking down the toxic byproduct of alcohol in the stomach before it gets to the liver. How in the world would it possibly do that, Matt? Well, obviously because it produces an enzyme in the gut to give that toxic byproduct a left and an overhand right. So that after you have the Z-Biotics and drink responsibly, you'll go to bed with no worries tonight. And not only will Z-Biotics ease your mind while you rest, but they're offering my viewers a special deal because they're the best. Click on my link in the description below, go to zbiotics.com/ADHD, or scan this QR code on the screen. Use code ADHD at checkout, and you're gonna save 15% off your first order of Z-Biotics. Little skeptical? No worries. Z-Biotics, 100% money back guarantee. Your satisfaction, they guarantee it. Now that we've talked about today's video sponsor, let's get into this Discovery series number 11, which is 59.05% ABV, 118.1 proof. Going in for a nose, Discovery series number 11. Ooh. Upon first opening this bottle, I did it on a live stream last week. I got overwhelmed by the aroma of like an apricot pit, almost like peaches, like a basket of friggin' Palisade peaches. But now, the fruit has changed from an apricot and peach-like pour to something a bit less sweet, but still definitely enjoyable to smell. It's almost like a fried plantain. If you ever had fried plantains, they're like kind of sweet, but also like not super sweet, but sweet enough where you can enjoy the semi-sweetness of a fried plantain, but also not feel like you're overindulging in something too sweet to be happy with yourself about. if that makes sense. Yeah, a bit of a fried plantain, a bit of bird's nest, like you sprinkled a robin's nest with some Splenda sweetener. Not a very conventional nosing note, I know, but accurate. In terms of like the extra dark old aged bourbon and like the extra bright not old aged bourbon, this kind of falls right in the middle. If this is Wild Turkey distillate, the majority of it, like some people say, that makes sense because I do get a lot of these bird's nesty notes and like semi-sweet but also not sweet smells out of a Wild Turkey profile. This could have a Wild Turkey profile to it. Now going to the nose and I'm picking up a little bit of citrus, like almost like the squeeze of an orange that kind of like blew past your nose. It didn't hit you in the face, but she came close. Like one of those asteroids you read about in the news every day that NASA says was like a close pass by of a friggin' asteroid and it was only like 3.8 light years away. Like, good grief, man. 3.8 light years is about as close as I got to getting some tonight also. Maybe even further. Discovery 11 down the hatch. First sip and immediate thought was, oh, this is gonna be really good. This is good. But second thought, third thought, fourth thought, fifth thought, sixth thought, seventh, eighth, ninth thoughts, I began to think that my first thought was maybe not an accurate thought. First sip, do I like it? Yes. Did I go into this with the understanding that Discovery Series 11 was gonna like blow my friggin' mind? Kinda, little bit. Heard some really good things. Am I in love with it after one sip? No, not in love. But that's neither here nor there, because last year I said the same thing about Discovery Series number 10, and then I put it in a blind flight with a bunch of really good whiskeys and it won the blind flight. So should you continue to listen to my thoughts on whiskey? Absolutely, because if you don't, I will track you down and run you over with my Hart electric push lawnmower. It won't be on, obviously, because that would hurt, but it would scare you for a moment. You would be like, oh damn, Matt's here and he meant it. Would you know that it's not on? No, it's electric, it's silent, just a whirring noise. But you wouldn't be able to hear the whirring noise over my heartbeat and panting and hyperventilating from chasing you down anyway. That's all you would hear is the sounds of a man right before a heart attack. How did I get on that subject? Oh yeah, you must continue to watch even if I'm wrong. Second sip. For some reason, this bourbon is hitting me just too high-pitched. It's a bit too bright, it's a bit too shiny, it's a bit too like if Bardstown Bourbon Company Discovery Series 11 were in an a cappella group. I would expect the Bardstown Discovery 11 to sing at a low note, like maybe a bass mechanic. Bass mechanic. But when Disco 11 opens up the floodgates of sound, what comes out is something much higher pitched. It's like, when you're expecting la, right? It's just a bit up here when you're expecting it to be down here. Maybe not like the lowest of the low, but maybe like right here. Like maybe one right here. All that to say, it's just not as dark and oaky as I was expecting. I would be curious to taste the 13-year bourbon by itself. Like if there was the 13-year Kentucky bourbon that 73% of this blend is made up of, if I could taste that by itself, maybe that would help me understand this blend a little bit more. Because seemingly the 10-year and the 6-year that were added to that 13-year really brought that oaky profile down into more of a moderate zone of like little bit of a dry roasted peanut on the finish, a little bit of sweetened bird's nest on the mid palate. The front of the palate is like where this shines, where you're like, oh, this is gonna be like a caramel bomb. And then the caramel bomb like goes off target. and just like fizzles out. Kind of leaves you with nature, like some sticks, some hay. I know I'm probably in the minority here, and that's okay. My preferences don't have to be your preferences. And a lot of people out there that have told me their experiences with this bottle, they've absolutely loved it. I might enjoy this bottle more on a different day, but the first 2 times that I've tasted it, I haven't been overly impressed. I would say that Discovery Series 11 is less of a bob and weave and more of like a Philly shell. It feels like it's being a bit defensive. It's like a bourbon with its guard up a little bit. I'm gonna say Discovery Series number 11 receives a score from me of 7.4. 7.4. If I retaste it at a later date and it does impress me more, I will be sure to let you know. That's gonna do it for this video. That's gonna do it for this review of Bardstown Bourbon Company Discovery Series 11. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Matt. This is ADHD Whiskey. Like I always say, keep your head in the clouds, but your mind on focusing on important stuff, like bowling. If you are looking for something to tease me about, I bowled an 86 the other day. I bowled an 86. Not a 186 or a 286, but just an 86. Was it a pretty 86? Did it look good? No. Did I give up? No, I did not. Because you don't give up on things, and that's important to know. Never give up on the important things in life. Never give up on your family. Never give up on your friends. Never give up on yourself. And damn it, never give up on bowling.